All right, tell the YouTube people where we are and why we're here.
Well, we're in Licking Creek, and when I was a kid, my dad built a camp right over there, and it was called Bark Killer Spring Camp. And he built this spring here. He took a rock and chiseled it out and put it in. The first one he did, it broke. Of course, there's more. And the first rock he did, it broke, but then he finally got one chiseled out that he could make a spring out of it. So every time I come down here, no matter who I'm with, there's that spring that my dad made. Right there it is.
Yeah, we were down here just a couple of weeks ago, just for something to do, and we didn't have the camera with us, and I thought, well, you know what, let's come back here again and we can talk about it a little bit.
And there was that bush there was blooming. It was a beautiful honeysuckle bush, but I guess it's over now. But the people that have a camp here up here, way up here, they don't take care of these kind of things.
No, like...
It's not sentimental to them like it is.
No, like you can see, we're just only a few yards off the road, and it's like you're climbing over sticks and weeds and stuff.
So they evidently don't use this for a water source for their camp, or it would be, you'd think it would be better than this.
No.
So that was 60, 70, I'm 88, and I was just a kid. So maybe 80 years ago that my dad built that.
And it's still pretty much in one piece.
Yeah.
It's just covered in weeds and moss and stuff now.
Set a bucket in there and get it filled with water and take it up to the camp.
Yeah.
The camp wasn't way up on the mountain then. It was just right over here.
Yeah, I'll walk over there and get a shot of that here in a little bit. In fact, I'll just go over there now and show the YouTube people where it was. We parked here at the end of the road. We don't know who this belongs to now, but right up around the road here is where the original cabin was. And it was right up here on this little flat area right here. And this is where it once stood. And if I'm not mistaken, it was burned down. So that's where that was. And I'm sure she can explain more about it better than I can, because she's the historian between us.
Well, the camp that my dad built was made out of chestnut logs. And it wasn't too long after the chestnut blight killed off all the chestnut trees, but chestnut trees, it took them so long to rot up, they were still good in later years.
Yeah. I've still got that one chestnut stump in the yard up there at the house.
And it's not rotting up, is it?
Not very quick.
That's why people use chestnut logs to build cabins with.
Yeah.
Did you get a picture of the cabin?
Yeah, I was just about to show them. This is the cabin that's there now. And maybe you can explain to them about it a little better than I can.
Well, my sister and her husband wanted to build a cabin, and they went to whoever it is, the authorities, and asked if they could use this. You have to lease them.
Right.
But they said not that close to the road. They have to build. If you're building now, they want you to build farther away from the road.
Right.
So there it is. Kate and Andy built that.
Yep.
My sister and her husband. And I've been in that cabin lots of times.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for this stop, so...
Wait till I tell you about their stove.
Well, let's hear this first.
They had a big iron stove. What do you call them? Cast iron stove or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody stole it.
How do you steal a cast iron stove?
They went clear up here and stole it. Imagine how much trouble it would have been to steal that thing and get it on.
Well, yeah.
So they built another one.
That's the first I ever heard that one.
Yep. Well, they had to buy another stove.
I would guess so.
And from then on, Kate said, let's not even bother locking the door because they just break it. Costs more to get the door fixed.
Right.
And every time they'd leave the camp, she'd say a prayer over it and then shut the door and leave.
Right.
So they had a lot of fun in that camp.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun in the camp. Our dad did
Yeah.
too. Somebody burned it down.
Yeah, I told them that before you got up here. Well, I think that's it for this stop, so we'll make this the first segment, and then we'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, this is a spring that's been here as long as I can remember. There was a camp up here that the forest rangers had, and you see now it says you shouldn't, it's never been tested, but we drank it. I've been drinking that water as long as I can remember.
And I've stopped here and drank out of it before and lived.
And we're still living, so it's good fresh mountain water.
Yes. All right, just another little stop here. Where we are right now, you can see there's a bit of a dam there. This used to be, at one point, the water supply for the Mount Union area, which is about where I live. And it's no longer in service for that purpose anymore. Now it's just kind of a fishing spot. But let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see it better. There it is. Just a small little, you know, rock dam, you know. They stopped using this for the water supply. For one reason, it wasn't meeting the demand anymore because there's a lot more houses and stuff now. And another reason is there's no treatment facility here. So it was literally just a pipe in the ground that just went straight into town. And there's a much bigger reservoir now that's in service, but that's what this place is. And you can go over there, but as this sign indicates, you can't take a boat or swim or anything like that in there, you know, for safety reasons. So I'm just going to stop right here. I'm not going to walk back in there any further. There is a trail, but that's what this is. And that's where we are right now. And over here is where we parked. But that's just a little something about that, and she's over there waiting for me, which tells me that it's time to move on to the next destination. Unless you got something to add about this place.
I don't even know who built that reservoir there, or what's it say up on that sign?
It's the one that says no boating or swimming or stuff like that.
What the purpose of it is either.
Well, that's what I was just telling them. That's the one that used to be the reservoir for Mount Union.
Oh, is that it?
That's the one.
Okay.
This is where it used to be. So for once, I knew a little more something about this place. So we're going to go ahead and get moving along here and head back.
We had this little camp down on Lincoln Creek, and the kids were down at the bridge swimming. And Linda was down in the water, and Gwen was standing up. She said, "Come on, get in the water." She said, "I'm not getting in there with that big worm." There was a little snake in the water, and Linda, she got out of there real quick. She wasn't gonna get in there with that big worm.
All right.
It was probably a harmless little snake.
Yeah. So right now, we're on this little footbridge here. At one point there was an actual bridge you could drive across now, but now it's just a footbridge. That's where we are now. And down this way is where one time, a couple of summers ago, I was down here with Kyle, and we built our own little rock dam right down there, about where that log is, right about there. And it's long gone now, but our intention was we were going to come down here and camp for a night, but we never actually did it. But we actually brought a weed eater down here and everything and cleared off this path here and stuff because we were going to set up a tent and everything, but we never got that far in the process. And over on this side over here is a popular spot for people to come down and have like a little campfire and party or whatever, and people fish in here and whatnot. And tell them about the last time we drove down this road, about our little encounter with those people in that truck.
Oh, you mean when we stopped? There's two young fellas in a big, honking big truck stopped us and said, "There's a stick across the road down here." Why are they making a big fuss about a stick on the road? And so Nathan and I kept on going. Nathan says, "I'll check it out." We got down there. It's a tree.
Yeah, it was a big tree about the size of that one laying right there.
And that was a stick on the road.
Yeah, to them that was a stick. Mind you, that's the car we came in right now, and the truck they were in was probably twice as high. Like, we could have probably drove under them, looked up and said, "That is really dirty," and kept on going.
But Nathan was able to move it enough that we could...
Yeah, it wasn't blocking the road enough that I couldn't get out and just drag it out of the way. Because we took my car the last time.
But what made us laugh is they call that a stick?
Yeah, I don't know what their definition of a stick really is, but if that's a stick to them, I'd hate to see what they classify as a log.
Years ago, during the Depression, there was CC camps, civilian conservation camps, down here in Licking Creek. There was one for the black guys and one for white guys. Well, the white guys' camp was right down in this area. And later on, some church owned it, and they called it Camp Shekinah. And they brought the kids from the church and they would camp there. So I don't know what's left of it anymore.
I don't know if there's any of it left anymore or not.
I don't know. Drive on down the road.
Yeah, if we see anything, we'll check that out.
The CCC guys did a lot of work during the Depression. They couldn't find jobs for them, so they started these civilian conservation camps. My oldest brother was in one over by Carlisle someplace. There's a lot of different places in this area in Pennsylvania where there were CCC camps, and it gave the young fellows something to do, working on the building bridges, whatever.
Right.
So I was just a kid when that was going on too. Being born in 1925 and the Depression started in 1929. But I can remember, we stopped, my parents and I don't know who was with us, some of my brothers and sisters, stopped at the black camp. And they went in, and here were these guys, they were dancing and having a good time. I was just a little kid like this. I looked up at these big guys and I ran out of there and went down to the car, right? I never saw any guys like that before. Where we lived, we didn't even know any black people. But they were having a good time in there. So I guess we might as well go on down the road, Nathan.
Yep, time for the next stop. Alright, so we're back. So, how do you want to end this?
Well, here we're back in my apartment, and then Nathan and I took a long ride. He took me on roads that I had never been before, and we started at Lewistown and ended up clear up at Newton Hamilton. And we saw some interesting things along the, we come clear up through Licking Creek. Licking Creek, as the natives say, but it's Licking Creek. So, if you say Licking Creek, people know what you're talking about.
Right.
If you say Licking Creek, they think you're putting on the dog.
Or you're from out of town or something.
Yes. So, And I enjoyed the ride, and we took some nice pictures, and I hope you enjoy our pictures that we took, and our some of the things that we find of interest might not be of interest to you, but
If they are of interest to you, don't forget to like and subscribe.
right. So I can't think of anything else I want to say now. We're going now and get some dinner down at the
Yep,
restaurant.
we're done traveling, now it's time for eating.
We're going for dinner at the restaurant. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.